Now, if you're fat, you might have cereal brain, you might be mentally dull, you might be depressed, you might have inflammation, you might have pain, you might have insulin sensitivity, you might have plastic particles inside your brain. This is an intervention. You cannot click off this video. Well, you obviously saw the video title, but unlike a lot of the people you see on the internet, like Huberman or whatnot, I'm not going to recommend 2 milligram, 4 milligram nicotine a day. I'm recommending 20 to 40 milligrams a day. Now first, I'll address the fat people. Nicotine increases the resting metabolic rate, the amount of calories you burn doing nothing, by 200. Upon that, it also is a potent appetite suppressor. So it's not only making you eat less, it's also making you burn more calories. And if you're fat, you probably have also inflammation in your brain. So nicotine being anti-inflammatory will prevent you from being turned into a stupid person. Now also, it's going to improve insulin sensitivity so you don't become diabetic. And if you're fat, you're probably eating a lot of seed oils as well as sugar. But the seed oils, omega-6s, it actually gets used to build, if it gets used to build your brain instead of saturated fat, you're going to have a brain with nerve cells that have a weak membrane, so they're prone to oxidization. And if those nerve cells go, because they're built with seed oils, that nerve cell's gone, that memory's gone. It's effectively making you into a person who can't memorize much, and also a person who can't form new memories or learn. And I'd also assume this isn't only for the fat people, but the fat people probably also eat out of plastic containers because fast food serves the food in plastic containers. The microplastics, we all have a teaspoon of microplastics in our brain alone. That teaspoon of microplastics, it's not causing damage because the plastic particles are touching the nerve cells. It's the inflammation your body has around the plastic particles, making your brain inflamed, also giving you Alzheimer's and dementia. So nicotine is also going to make your brain more resistant to the lobotomization effect of microplastics. Now also for the ADHD people, which probably also have some sort of damage to their brain, nicotine is gonna do more to help you than amphetamines will. Because all amphetamines will do is mask the issue. They're gonna release dopamine and serotonin and norepinephrine, but that's masking the issue of your brain not being able to function without that extra push. That extra push from the amphetamines, even Ritalin, is going to give you more oxidative stress to your brain, making the issue worse in the long term. So you're basically a amphetamine addict at that point. But with nicotine, you might be a nicotine addict, but it's gonna treat the underlying issues of ADHD. It's gonna decrease inflammation in your brain. It's gonna protect your existing neurons, and it's going to cause less damage and stress to your brain than traditional ADHD stimulants. And it's also not going to give you anxiety. It's going to make you calm and focused. Now, unless you're 10%, the top 10%, then you're going to have choline deficiency as well. So if 90% of people have a choline deficiency, and choline is needed for acetylcholine synthesis, then your nicotinic acetylcholine receptors are they're not gonna have the ability to function properly. Now, this relates to nicotine because nicotine binds to those said receptors and makes them fire. Now let's say, hypothetically, you, the viewer, you're not fat, you're not a diabetic, you don't have ADHD, and you can focus fine. You're still going to benefit from using nicotine. It's going to increase the amount of nicotinic receptors available in a healthy person. Also, nicotine protects slightly against parasites, pathogens, and environmental toxins. The only reason that nicotine has been vilified is because the government wants to tax your cigarettes and your vapes. Because we discovered smoking and tobacco, we have pure nicotine. You get it in gum, 4 milligrams. Maybe Zyn if it's available in your country. In my gay country it's not. But if you have the 4 milligram gums, you're gonna want to have at least like 5 a day. But you start off with like 1, go to 2, and then max out at around 8 to 10. Maybe even a bit higher than 10 a day. And the addiction part is misunderstood as well. The dependence and addiction to nicotine is due to receptor downregulation, but receptor downregulation is only due to oxidative stress because of overuse. Now, there are ways around this. You can also use galantamine, which will bind next to the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor and keep it going. And since nicotine increases nicotinic receptor count, and galantamine will keep those receptors going, you're going to have more receptors and you're going to prevent tolerance and dependence. And you can even take it a step further with employing memantine and selegiline, which memantine will reduce the calcium influx that can cause oxidative stress, and selegiline will limit the oxidative stress caused by dopamine destruction. I'd make nicotine a first-line treatment in many diseases. You're fat, instead of getting Ozempic, you get given nicotine. You're stupid, and you have ADHD, probably the same thing. Nicotine. You have dementia, nicotine. You're depressed, nicotine. But that would never happen because the people running the country, they really want you to be stupid and die. Because if you're stupid, you can't protest anything, you can't notice what's going on in our governments, you can't notice our planned destruction. So if you went through this whole video and you still don't want to use nicotine, and you don't have a good reason, then you probably deserve what's coming to you in terms of Alzheimer's diagnosis when you're older. I mean, you probably don't deserve that, but that's probably what's going to happen. And I'm not trying to sell anything here.